this episode of the Up and Coming Artist Podcast with a gentleman from Fort Lauderdale representing.
Yes.
By way, Damany, can I say by way of Jamaica?
Sure, man. That's fine.
All right, cool. By way of Jamaica, Damany, and he has a song out right now that's called "I'm Coming Over," which I have a lot of questions about, my man. A lot of questions about. But Damany, man, welcome to the Up and Coming Artist Podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I'm humbled to be here, sir. Humbled.
Bro, we're like the same age. Don't call me sir. That's weird. Okay. Just messing with you.
Just show respect because it's your show, you know.
I'm just messing with you, bro. It's our show, man. You good. So okay, one thing I thought that was very, very interesting about your bio, and I was reading that, figuring out who you are and everything, is that your goal is to bring back that like 90s R&B kind of feel. And what's interesting is my friends and we have conversations about this all the time because we're all really into music. I have a radio background, and we always talk about how the evolution of how R&B's changed, how it went from "Please, my lady, take my hand" to "Girl, I just want to love you," to "Girl, I'm going to die for you," to "Girl, I just want to fuck you," to whatever the hell it is now. I don't even know what it is now because, like, I would say what the biggest R&B artists are what? Drake, or like anyone that's signed to OVO, like Division or something, or you know what I'm saying? Party Next Door. I don't even know what you call that, but
right. I mean, I have conversations with my friends and also fellow musicians as well, and I'm like, I don't knock the youngins for doing what they do because that's the way they express themselves.
Right.
But I grew up in the era where you had to know how to sing. Like, for example, I've been at this for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally said to myself, I was like, Damany, like, you know, you've gone through so many different bad managements that says, well, Damany, like, yeah, I know you like to sing the R&B soulful stuff, but, you know, look what they're doing. Let's do what they're doing. All of them told me that. So I said to myself, this time around, you know what, Damany, write and put out the songs you want to put out. And the quote that helped me to stay true to who I am is, I got this quote. I can't take this quote for myself. Andre 3000 said this, and he said, make this type of music you want to listen to.
Right.
So I grew up to the Jodeci's and the H-Towns and the Whitney Houstons, and you know, and I'm a student of R&B, so even before my time, I studied the 80s and the 70s to know who inspired the people I like. So I try my best to write the songs I like to listen to.
Right.
You know, and you know, the kids nowadays that could sing their ass off, who they got to look to. I mean, the only people keeping R&B going right now are the women, the Jasmine Sullivans, the Ella Mays. Like, there's not a lot of men. There's only like 2 men, with the exception of you know, Usher. Like, I mean, he's touring, but you have Giveon and you have Lucky Day, which is, I'm blessed to have them because you know they're doing their thing.
Right.
But you really name too many that's like that, you know, and so I care about the craft of soul music because there's not a lot of us males and women doing it.
Right.
Just not a lot of men doing it. And, you know, I try my best to stay true to the audience that like that type of music, you know.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of soul artists in Florida. There's not. And Atlanta has all of them. The Silks, the Silks, the 112s, the Jagged Edges. There's not a lot of soul singers out here.
Right. You know? Yeah, you know, you're right when you hit it right on the nose when you say that it's mostly the women that are keeping the R&B brand what it is. Because like you said, like I can only if I can think of like a pure R&B artist that's big, what, Daniel Caesar is one of them for sure. Like like you said, in like Giveon and stuff. And gosh, I guess you can maybe throw Majid Jordan in there, maybe.
Lucky Day, he's pretty good too.
Yeah, you know, so that's dope. Now your father is a musician, correct?
Yeah.
Now I assume then music has always been a huge part of just your life in general, and you grew up around it and been around it because of your family. Was your dad one of your musical influences?
No, he hates when I say that, but no. But I'm gonna explain. Like, you know, we bumped heads about this when I was a kid. You know, he's a reggae artist. He was big in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s. So majority of the singers now, he knows them. The Sean Pauls, the Beanie Mans, the Bonnie Killers. He's around that circle. So, you know, my dad's always said, well, I'm gonna talk Jamaican now, so stay with me. He's like,
Sure.
Damany. Uh, it's like, go on, like, sing some reggae for me. And I'm like, Dad, I don't want to sing a reggae. Like, soul music is my thing. Yeah, man, you can't sing over some song, them, Like, he wants me to do covers. Because the thing I hate about Jamaicans, with a passion, is they love to sing over people's songs. So
Mm.
I tell my father, there's no art, there's no like craft into that. So here he goes. He's like, he named I'm not gonna name the artist because I don't want to put him out there, but he's like, such and such. I'm like, yes, Dad. Like, much money make a show? I'm like, what, Dad? He make 50 grand a show, 50 grand. I'm like, am I sing people's song? He's saying he's singing people's song, making 50 grand a show. And I'm like, yeah, father, but is not just about the money
Right.
because for example, I was like, 10 years from now, no kid is going to check from and say, you know what? I want to listen to some Sanchez. They're going to be like, or whoever the artist is, they're going to be like, I might as well listen to the original person.
Right.
So I rather put out quality music and the kids growing up could have a Damani to look to the way I look to Babyface and the Neos of the world. Like, those people that wrote those songs back then and those type of artists back then, even up to this day, people are sampling their songs.
Right. Right.
Nobody sampling anybody's songs that sang over people's songs. No. So that's where me and my dad bump heads. But I mean, he's amazing at what he does.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not really the thing is I do want to sing reggae, but not the type of reggae he wants to sing. I want to sing what Jasmine Sullivan did with her first song, the I need you.
Right.
I
Yeah.
need
Okay. Yep.
like that
Like
type of
that.
R&B. So my dad was like, yeah, man, if you want to do that, go on feet, son. I'm like, all right, cool. So yeah. I care about the craft of soul music, like because I refuse to believe that that's a dying craft. And I take up, if you read my bio, I also defend rock and roll
Hmm.
because when I was growing up, I still appreciated rock and roll only for the artistmanship for it because a lot of the bands played and wrote their own music,
Hmm.
and alone is you got to respect that.
Right.
And nowadays they're calling Linkin Park and Papa Roaches of the world and the Limp Bizkits of the world. Oh, that's classic rock. Wow. Ouch. Yeah, so they're calling those type of genres classic rock. And when it comes to the R&B I grew up on, they call that contemporary R&B. And the artists I grew up watching, they weren't I'm not gonna put that radio show out. I don't know if I'm insulting them, so I'm not gonna put them out there. But the show that they were on, they questioned the DJs. They're like, well, I mean, you guys don't ever play our music when we come out here.
Mm.
You put us in a box and call it contemporary R&B. Like like good music is good music.
Right.
And the DJs at the time were stumbling over their words because you can't. What's the rebuttal for that?
Right. No, that's real. That's real.
So, they always try to put, you know, I I don't believe in old school rock or old school R&B. For example, I give you a perfect example. Silk Sonic is killing it right now.
Yeah.
But let
Yeah.
me let me ask you something. Are they doing anything different at all?
No, not at
They
all.
lit they literally brought back what was big in the 60s and 70s and just
Yeah.
put a modern twist on it. People are yearning for that type of music. Is my point. It's just
Mhm.
the industry has their own agenda, what they want to push, and they're always telling the artists, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." People don't want to hear that; they want to hear this. How do you know that?
Right. One thing I've always have said, and I'm very open about saying this, and I've said it. I said it when I was in radio on one of the biggest radio stations in the country where I worked at. Was that I'm tired of old white men trying to tell me what 18-year-old girls like. Okay, at the end of the day, like I get it. There's a formula of how to make a hit, quote
You,
unquote.
you
But
said a
at the
mouthful. You
yeah,
said a
but
mouthful.
yeah, but at the end of the day, like you're not gonna be the tastemakers. Old 70-year-old dudes that you know
Don't write
still
music. Put
right. They
music out.
don't put music out. Never written a song in their life, and still considers Dark Side of the Moon to be the greatest rock album ever written, which is bullshit. Um, is the tastemakers that try to tell us what young people like. It's just I'm sorry, like you're not in the know. So they hire guys like me to say like,
Right.
well, Kel, what are the kids? What's viral right now? Who's streaming the most? Instead of just really figuring out and maybe even just putting focus groups together to figure out like what is it that people really want instead of just we're trying to make money so we can make budget next quarter, right? Um, so that yeah, I'm with you on that. So I'm coming over your single that's out.
Yes, sir.
That was originally a rap record.
Well, it was a totally different rap record. The hook was way different. The whole ambiance was different. It's just I kept the same exact concept and wrote it to another song. Cause me and my boy at the time, like obviously he's a big family man now. He's like 4 kids. Like he's not even thinking about music. But at the time back in, like I said, I've been doing this like 20 some years. I don't look at
Mm-hmm.
it. 20 some years. Back in like, damn, I'm gonna show my age. Ah, six, the 07 ish. And he was a producer and he was a rapper, so he made this beat. I was like, oh crap, this is pretty dope. We made a dope record to it. He had a great concept, and his wife now they've been together like 20 some years. Back then, she was like, at first she was like, this sucks. So
Jesus,
me, she's very honest with us. If it's trash, she'll let us know it's trash.
she'll let you know.
So, so we looked at each other like, man, that's our biggest critic. She ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. So we got to make a dope record. So we stayed in the studio and came up with a dope record, a rap R&B record, and it came out dope. But around that time, life happened and we couldn't finish the song. But I told him, I was like, bro, like I'm rewriting our concept, and I hope you like it. So after I finished the record, I actually had him listen to it. He was like, yo,
Gave you thumbs up.
gave me the thumbs up. So yeah, it was fun writing that song. Very fun, very very fun writing it.
That's good. So 'cause it sounds like you've been doing the music thing for a while now. What is the most valuable thing you think you've learned now in this 20 years of singing and writing and making music? What's the most valuable uh thing you feel like you've learned thus far?
Well, I got to go back to high school.
Okay.
I went to both performing arts, middle school and high school. But in high school, and my ninth grade year was my best year musically because God rest her soul, my course teacher, Miss Brown, she passed a few years back. She used to challenge us, and she was in the music industry, actually. And after this is a side note, I'll explain that later. But she was in the music industry, anyways. Ninth grade, she used to tell me 9 in the morning. That was my first class. Remember, when you're 8, 9 in the morning, you're not warmed up or anything. Your voice is literally just still waking up.
Right.
She'll say stuff like, "All right, guys, pick a song. You guys are gonna sing a solo in front of the class." So all of us looking at each other like, "We never warmed up. We just got in class. What is she talking about?" So she will randomly do that because she's trying to prepare us. Like, look, when you're in the industry, if that's what some of you guys want to pursue, like you have certain radio interviews that are 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. And what if they ask you, all right, I know it's really early, but can you just sing a little? Because they're gonna do stuff like that. So she's to try to prepare us for the spontaneity. But the
Mm-hmm.
part, the second part that I love is same thing, sporadically. She will say, "All right, guys, like split into groups. Write a song on Friday. You guys are gonna present it to the class." We're like, at first we were like, "Oh shit." We're looking at it. Now, granted, a lot of the people that went to my middle school with me went to my high school, so
Mm-hmm.
they knew I was okay at songwriting. I wasn't that good, but everybody wanted to be in my group, but I still wasn't that good. But since I still kind of understood like the little bit that, so she prepared us for that as well, because she used to tell us if you're in the industry and let's say like a big name walks into the studio, she used to tell us this. A big name walks into your studio, puts on a dope track, and you're a pretty good singer, and I'm like, hey, I know it's short notice, but can you write this hook for me real quick? Like I got to turn this into the label. You got to be able to say, okay, let's do
Es-
this.
Especially if you're ghostwriting.
That part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she prepared us for the spontaneity of the industry, and she did that majority of my ninth grade year. She used to always every other week, every other month. All right, guys, split into groups, write a song, and present it Friday, and you know that was my favorite part of going to high school. Now, answering your question, because I kind of had to build it up to after I graduated high school, unfortunately and fortunately, um, when I was telling you about the managements I was under before, they had no songwriters. They had a bunch of rappers, but I was the only singer a lot of times, and I had no choice but to write my own songs. So
Ah.
because of what my teacher prepared me to appreciate and love writing music, especially soul music. So up to this day, like I'm so grateful to her. Like, trust me, when you're a kid, you're like, I don't want to do it. Writing songs are presented in a week. What is this? I just want to come in here and just, like, we're kids,
Right.
like 14, 15. But looking back at it now, like, that was the best thing she's ever done for us. And, that's why I love writing songs, is because of her. Now, this is the last thing I say. Like, on the side, I work at an elementary school, and my favorite class, of course, is the music class. Ah, come on. So I was messing with the music teacher. I was like, you do theory, you like to write music, right? She's like, you know, she calls me Mr. Toller. I hate writing songs. Oh my gosh, I hate it. And I looked at her, I was like, I'm the opposite. Like, it's fun coming up with melodies and coming up with songs. And
Right.
so it goes back to like, you have to either love writing music, or you're gonna, it's no in between.
Right.
Because if there's an in between, the song's gonna come out trash.
Right.
It's gonna come out trash. So I either love writing and creating, love love it. Same goes with producing too. You can't be no in between.
Right. Right. That's interesting. That's dope. Damany, what new projects do you have on the way? What's in store? What you got in the works right now?
Well, truth be told, I actually released 2 songs. But I did tell Starlight it's fine. Like, you could push I'm Coming Over. But I actually released 2 songs. So the 2 songs I have out is I'm Coming Over and Tasty. They're both on my YouTube.
Okay.
But as we speak, I'm working on putting out a mixtape song. I can't really release it because it's vulgar. It is, and it's a song called "Fuck Love." It is.
Yeah, that's my kind of shit right there.
I'm
It's the good shit.
I wrote this when I was very pissed and very annoyed. These women. I love them now. Like, I love the women now. At the time, brother wasn't trying to hear all this. I was like, you know what? F y'all right now. I'm feeling kind of inspirational. Where's the pen and pad? So
There we go.
wrote the song, and I'm putting the finishing touches on the video. It's not like a video like I'm Coming Over. It's more of a picture video, like a more subtle video. But
Got you.
that's the next song I'm releasing. The project is F Love, and after that, I'm releasing a nice. I got to get the women back on my side, because I can't tell them, well, F you. You got to will them back in.
Yeah,
So,
but you go through those emotions though, so it's okay to show both of those sides. Like, hey, this is when I love you, and this is the moment where I'm like, fuck you. It's totally fine. That's the spectrum of music.
you want to hear something crazy? The engineer that's recorded me the last 10 years, this is 2022, he started recording me with all my songs 2010ish. Um, the amount of songs I recorded with him, which are the songs I'm going to be putting out. When I recorded F Love, when I recorded Fuck Love, he looked at me, he was like, after I'm done with the session, he hit the computer, he looked at me, he's like, bro, out of all the songs you've done, that is the hardest shit you ever did, bro.
Yeah.
Because the honest truth is, I wasn't even thinking about putting out that song. That was more of a song to release my emotions, and that's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't release a song, but he was like, "Yo, Damany," like he looked at me with big eyes, like, he's like, this right here, bro. Because I told him, I'm like, I don't really want to use it. He cut me. He's like, bro, like, you could do something with this. So, after really thinking about it, long, and I'm like, all right, I'll consider it. I was like, it can't be the first song though. Like, it can't be the first one, but I'll mix it
Yeah.
in. So,
Yeah.
like,
Well, and that's the thing is, he, as an engineer, he's listening to that. He goes, "Yo, the emotions in this is real," and that's where people are going to connect with you at. So here's the thing: is like, my man, you might have just found your hit. You know what I'm saying? Because of that relatable part. That was one thing in radio. How we picked songs was like, well, what are people going through right now? It's like when COVID first started, there was a lot of ballads and a lot of slow songs that were getting played on the radio because it was like everyone's fucking sad because everyone's on lockdown, and it
and
worked.
everybody's home smashing. So yeah, like, you got to put them.
Yes, everyone is making babies or getting divorced. So you're you're
No
absolutely right.
in between with that either. There's no in
Yeah,
between with that.
exactly. Well, Damany, where can folks follow you and find you?
You can follow me on YouTube. I'm Damany Tulla. You could also follow me on. I'm only on TikTok and YouTube. I'm not really on Instagram like that. Like, I dabble,
Yeah.
But if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's Damany_84. But those are my socials.
Cool. Well, Damany, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And you know what we're going to leave people with? We're going to leave people with that I'm coming over. So we're going to get into that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Damany, R&B singer. He's amazing. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The single is called I'm Coming Over. Here it is now. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Yes. Da-da-da-da-da. To spend time with you. I got my things, I'm on my way to be with you. Girl, get ready. I'm in order to be with you. I'm in order. All right, and to wrap up this first episode of the Up and Coming